Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to showcase a 1-bar Oakensoul build for the Stamina Necromancer, also known as Stamcro. This build is capable of pulling over 88k on the parts dummy. This build utilizes some of the best gear in the game to pull endgame DPS. I will be using mythics and trial gear, so this is not a super beginner friendly build, but rather more for endgame players who prefer 1-bar builds. I will also do my best to keep it as viable for content as possible, such as offering a flex spot for heals and giving advice on some alternatives to either gear or skills in the video. Anyways, here's the build. So starting off in the character sheet, I have 64 points into stamina, and I am running the Thief Mundus. For the race, I am a Dark Elf. Other alternatives include Khajiit, Wood Elf, and Orc probably. So for food, we're going to be running RTM Takeaway Broth. For content, a cheaper and just as good alternative would be Dubious Cameron Throne. And if you're parsing or need more sustain, then Lava Food Soup and Salt Rice is always the go-to. So for potions, this is where it gets a little bit different because Oakensoul gives us access to the major buffs that Stam needs, which is Major Savagery and Major Brutality. We're going to be opting to run Heroism Pots. Heroism Pots can be created or bought, but the combination I used was Columbine, Dragon Realm, and Dragon's Blood. So what this does is it gives a line of Restore Magicka, plus Major Intellect, Restore Stamina, plus Major Endurance, and Minor Heroism. So these potions do cost a lot to make, so make sure you have 3 points from the Alchemy skill line Medicinal Use to benefit from the full duration of the potions. And in the case of not using Heroism Pots, you can always opt to use Essence of Stamina instead. So for CP, for the blue tree, we're going to be running Master at Arms, Deadly Aim, Wrathful Strikes, and Backstabber. For the red tree, Balanced Vitality, Fortified, Rejuvenation, and Bloody Renewal. So for gear, we're going to be running 5 pieces of Pillar of Nirn paired with 5 pieces of Reliquin, 1 piece Crags, and Oakensoul Ring. So breaking it down, we have a Pillar of Nirn in the main hand, Nirn Honed with a flame damage enchant, on the offhand Charged with a poison damage enchant. For the head, we have 1 piece Crags in light, in Divines with max dam. And for the body, we have 5 pieces of Reliquin, all traded in Divines with max dam enchants. And for the pants, we have 1 piece of Pillar of Nirn in Divines with max dam. And for the jewelry, we have 2 pieces of Pillar of Nirn. And both of the Pillar of Nirn jewelry is going to be traded in Bloodthirsty with weapon damage enchants. And lastly, Oakensoul Ring, which is also going to be Bloodthirsty with a weapon damage enchant as well. So for skills, we're going to be running Blighted Blast Bones, Venom Skull, Detonating Siphon, Skeletal Archer, Barbed Trap, and Ice Comet. So for the rotation, it's going to revolve around our Blast Bones. What I mean by that is we're going to cast Blast Bones and skill, so 2 skills in between each Blast Bone cast. So in a sample rotation, it would look something like Blast Bones, skill, skill, Blast Bones, skill, skill. So that's what the top part is. Moving on to the bottom section, the skill priority. So these are the skills you want to cast in the priority if more than one of them expires at the same time. So what I mean by that is just try to keep up your dots as best as you can, but prioritize your dots with this order. And lastly, whenever your ultimate's ready, you can just drop it whenever and you should be good to go. So closing thoughts, first off, gear alternatives. Instead of Reliquin, you can opt to run Coral Riptide. If you're able to manage your stamina properly, it might outperform Reliquin. Moving on to what you can replace for Pillar of Nirn. You can always replace it for Zovgan if you need that extra bar slot. Order's Wrath, Advancing Yokeda, and Whirl of Depths are all good choices as well. So if you really need a bar slot, I'd suggest maybe taking out Detonating Siphon. Within that slot, you can replace it for utility skills. I often recommend either Spirit Mender or Vigor as a primary way of healing. And lastly, if you don't have Ice Comet or you're in content and you don't have a Necro, then Colossus is going to be a better ultimate to use. And I think that wraps it up. As always, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below or come join our Discord. If this video helped in any way, please help the channel grow by subscribing and liking the video. And lastly, I will see you in the next video, and thanks again and have a good day.